Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today I'm at Jimmy Grande Ford here in Stonewall, Louisiana. And you already know we're taking a look at the 2022 Ford F-150 Lightning. And I know a lot of you say, Tom, show us lower trim levels. That's what we really want to see. Well, this is the only one that was available. It is the Platinum. It's the top of the line. So that's what we had to look at today. So let's talk about exactly what we have here. The starting price is $39,974. If you look at the Ford website, you'll see that when you look at all of the multiple trim levels. And here's what those trim levels are. You have Pro, XLT, Lariat, and Platinum, and your choice of 11 different colors. And you can get the dual motor with extended range battery, one single charge with the smaller 98 kilowatt battery. Ford claims a driving range of 230 miles per charge, which isn't too bad. Upgrading to the larger 131 kilowatt pack boosts the driving range to 320 miles. With the standard range battery, the motors combine to make 452 horsepower, but here is the impressive number. The extended range battery, the horsepower rating goes to 580 horsepower and an impressive 775 pounds-feet of torque. 78 city, 63 highway. And what about charging information? Charging on a DC charger, you can go from 15% to 85% in 44 minutes. And here's something interesting. I know a lot of people in this day and age like to have a generator installed at their house in case power goes out, but maybe you don't have that option and you live in, say, South Louisiana or someplace like that, where you might lose power because of a hurricane or something along those lines. Well, the cool thing is you have the onboard generator here. There are multiple power outlets right there. So many great options, but the cool thing here is on a full charge, Ford says this truck will power your house for 3 days. That's pretty darn impressive. And it goes without saying that obviously the lighting on the front end looks great. You know, there's a lot of features and functionality here that are typical F-150, and there's a lot that, well, isn't something you would expect with the Lightning, including the way the daytime running lights look. When we were getting the truck washed earlier, I tried to get you some really good footage, best we could do on a bright sunny day here in Northwest Louisiana, of what the lights look like overall here on the front end. And I must say, everything looks very nice, not only with the headlights, the daytime running lights, but just the overall design of everything. The hood looks really nice, having the nice crown here on each side, and then kind of a dip, comes back up towards the middle. Not that it's signifying anything under here, because what's under here is the frunk, obviously. If you're not very aware of these trucks or any EV model for that matter, well, you may not know that there is a lot of space right here. I'll give you those numbers in just a second. But I did want to share something else with you that I thought was very good to know that is typical F-150 here. What I was talking about that is typical F-150 here is you still have your tow hooks right here. So when you're on Twitter and you see that Elon Musk is stuck in the mud in his Cybertruck, you can go and pull him out with your F-150 Lightning. And obviously here we have the frunk. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. It is fully waterproof. That's good news. So whatever you have in here is going to stay nice, dry, and safe. And there's two important numbers that you need to know about here. It will hold 14.1 cubic feet. That's quite a bit, actually. If you think about the rear storage area of a C7 Corvette, that would hold 15 cubic feet. Just to give you a little bit of a reference, yes, I mentioned a Chevrolet in a Ford video. Please don't stone me in the comments, but I really like what we have here. It's very cool that you have space under the floor here. There's quite a bit under there. You can put a lot of different items in there, and the floor actually has two sides. Not only the side that I just pulled it up on, but you also have the side right here that has, well, quite a few things on it, including information about letting you know how much weight you can put in here. 400 pounds is what it says it will hold right there. You also have, it's kind of a mini workstation floor, just like the workspace floor, I should say, kind of like the workspace tailgate. You've got plenty of space in here, and then you have kind of a trap door in the very back. There's Henry Ford on the trap door, in fact, kind of an Easter egg there of sorts. And that is actually where you will find the accessory batteries. And quite a few interesting things here. There are some tie downs in here. There's also an illuminated button that is rather large right here in case somebody happens to get stuck inside here. And one thing I like here is it makes sense, but the charge port is on the driver's side. Let's see if I can get that to open. There we go. Just not used to doing that. It's not that hard. You just push on it and it opens. And here are your charging options. In fact, there's a couple right here depending on what you want to do. So that is there, very conveniently located and concealed away. And for those who may say, what about turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors? Because I know you love your turn signal indicators in your side view mirrors. Yep, you can probably see that on the screen without me even showing you B-roll footage, but it is right there. And something else I always like to tell people about with these Ford vehicles, because nobody else really has this option, the programmable keypad right here. If for some reason you lose your remote, or maybe you don't feel like running back inside to get it because you're outside and you realize, oh, I need something out of my F-150 Lightning, you can use that right there. Make sure to program that. It's a good fail-safe in an emergency situation. If you've lost your remote or whatever the case may be, you can use that. It makes things very easy. But we are just getting started because the bed of this truck has some amazing features that I haven't seen before. And in case you were wondering what the remote looks like, well, there you go. You can see everything right there. Not that much different from what we're used to seeing, but still very effective. Everything there that you need to know about. So what about this tailgate area and the bed? Well, I like the fact that obviously you have a power tailgate. Nothing out of the ordinary. You still have the tailgate step right here that you can bring out and make everything real easy to get in and out with your multi-step program here. Basically, it's easy to do. You can almost do it one-handed. So let me put this all back in, and you also have the workspace tailgate, if I can get that in there. So your typical workspace tailgate here, still something I'm very impressed with. When Ford first introduced this, I was impressed from the beginning. But that one thing that I was talking about, I kind of made it sound like there was multiple things here, which I didn't mean to do that, but there is one thing here I haven't seen before, and that is a built-in scale for payload. Speaking of payload and towing, you actually have a graph that I'm going to show you on the screen right now to show you all of those multiple numbers depending on how your truck is optioned out, trim level, all that kind of stuff of what you can do. But the cool thing here is this. If you want to know how much you have payload-wise, weight-wise in your bed, there's actually a built-in scale on the infotainment screen to tell you exactly that. And another thing, again, not unusual, but I do like it. You can kind of just lift up on the tailgate. Let's see, there we go. And it takes over and automatically raises it. And obviously you can use the buttons here on the rear, on the remote, and in the interior to open and or close that. It makes things very simple. And back up here to the front area. Let's say that you're saying to yourself, you know, I was kind of hoping this would maybe be the ultimate tailgating truck to some degree. Well, it really isn't the ultimate tailgating truck. I'm kind of getting my words mixed up there because it's really the ultimate frunking truck. Okay, is there such a thing? Tailgating, frunking? I don't know, it's kind of the same, but the reason I say that is this. This area right here where I showed you is actually waterproof. You can store ice in there and ice down drinks and snacks. There's a built-in drain plug so you can drain when the water has all melted, or the ice is melted down and turned to water. You can drain all of that. It's a great multitasker, and you can use the floor. You can stand it up at a 90-degree angle and actually partition off different areas of the floor depending on what you want to do or what your needs are. Just something very interesting that I found here that, again, you don't see with other trucks. But obviously there's not really any other full-size trucks on the market right now that have a frunk. And if you're asking about a front camera washer, yes, this truck does indeed have one. It activates every time you use your windshield washer fluid, and you don't have to have the camera up on the infotainment screen for the front camera washer to activate. And one thing I really like here, instead of having a sticker for the Lightning logo on the side of the bed right here, it's actually raised lettering. That, I think, really gives it a better look. You've got the black with the blue outline on the top. That really just kind of sets it off. And no, I didn't forget about tire and rim size. These are 275/50 tires wrapped around the 22-inch wheels. And the wheel design is to help with aerodynamics, to cut down on drag and obviously improve airflow, because you want to do everything you can to conserve the capacity of the battery. And here within the interior, everything you would expect. Very luxurious, but your typical Ford features as well. The seat cushions do raise up. You have a lot of storage underneath here. And even though I can't do it from this side, that side does, the seat back does fold forward and fold flat, so that you can access all the tools to change a tire if you need to. And that's one thing I really like here that you don't see on other EVs, and that is the fact that there is the absence of a tire repair kit. You have a spare tire. That is always a plus. And what about overall space? I'll reach up here and get the grab handle and hop inside. Plenty of room in here, typical of the F-150. All sorts of space. I'll close the door right there, so hopefully we can cut down on some of the exterior noise. But there is space galore here in the back seat of this truck. You've got the fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in, the drink holders here. You also have a whole plethora of connectivity options here, 12-volt household power outlets. You also have your USB ports and your air conditioning vents right there. Also the seat pockets and nice large door bins, upper and lower. Plenty of space here. And also the panoramic sunroof, something Chevrolet has yet to put on their trucks. So you've got that advantage right here. And I'll give you a good view of what that looks like before we hop into the main nerve center of this truck, the front seat. Okay, now that we're inside the front seat of this Lightning, it's awesome. It looks high-tech, just like you would expect with the dashboard and the layout, and there is so much information you can go through here. I'm not going to even begin to try and touch the surface on that, but you have all the information you would expect and more available on the infotainment screen, on the dashboard, all of your steering wheel mounted controls here, and you really have a semi-autonomous mode of sorts. Depending on where you drive, you can use that, and it's, of course, very helpful, very useful. I probably won't demo that today, but it is there and it is available. You also have regenerative braking, and you can drive with one pedal. And what that means is when you take your foot off the gas, the brakes start to engage and basically use that to slow the vehicle down and charge the battery back up. So it really kind of helps to save the life of the battery. You can still use your brakes like you normally would, but it's kind of an interesting experience the first time you use it, but eventually you get used to it. It's not a bad thing. It's actually quite interesting to try out if you've never done that before. And you have your massage seats here. After all, this is a Platinum, so I'm going to turn mine on so that during the duration of while we talk about what's here, and there is just so much, that I'm getting a massage. So, as I said, with the infotainment screen, there is so much there. I'll show you everything that you have, your zone lighting and the seat settings. All of that great information is there. Everything for trailering, your driving modes, and I like the fact that the driving modes really, as you change through those different driving modes, well, they appropriately change as you would expect, including when you go into tow haul mode, you're going to see your Lightning with a trailer behind it. So obviously you can do that. The controls for the air conditioning are all found here within the infotainment screen. And here's the interesting thing about that. I have really kind of disliked the fact that a lot of vehicles from Volvo have that, pretty much all of them these days. But for whatever reason here, it's a little bit easier to use. It just seems to be in the right place. I don't know why, but it's just more simplified for whatever reason, in case you're wondering. You obviously have all of your multi-view cameras all around the truck, everything you would expect there, but something that I don't see in a lot of vehicles these days. Newer vehicles seem to be going away from this, is you have your sunglass holder, or whatever kind of glasses you want to put up there, or whatever you want to put up there, period. All the controls for your power sliding rear window and the power shade and your panoramic sunroof up there. You can open the front area of that if you want to. Plenty of storage here within the upper and lower glove boxes, more connectivity. There's just so much here. I almost have to talk like the Micro Machine Man to not make this segment of the video too long. Then you have more connectivity down here. There are several USB ports throughout the truck, front and rear, obviously, and your wireless charging pad right there. And I like the fact that obviously nothing new here, but you do have your workspace right here. Really a multitasker. You can use that for whatever you want. You can put your lunch right there and eat that, not when you're driving, but you can do that and take care of that. And then you have the nice, deep center console. So much space in there. I think if you said hello in there, it'd probably echo and come back as an echo. You have the removable tray right there. If you want to take that out, you can do that. Coin holder, all that good stuff. There is so much here, but I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get out on the road and see what happens. We're going to do a 0 to 60 test and see if we can match 0 to 60 that Ford advertises for this truck. Okay guys, we're going to go ahead and run our 0 to 60 here. Make sure I'm pointed in the right direction, and here we go. I don't think it got what I was expecting. Hard to say. I did that in sport mode. I might try again and just see what happens down the road. But I'll tell you what, it's an interesting experience to drive the Lightning because you're higher off the ground than I've ever been in any other EV before. And let me turn the sound off here so that's not bothering you too much. But that's the one thing I noticed. And that's not a bad thing. It just seems that it wasn't as quick as I thought it would be, but we'll see what the 0 to 60 was. And you know, when 0 to 60s are done, you might wonder, how do these people that make these cars, these car manufacturers, get their 0 to 60s? Well, they don't really reveal a lot. They don't tell you how much tire pressure they have. They don't tell you how much the car or the person in the car weighs, or the truck, and other variables. And I don't know that it's affected quite the same way here as it is with a combustion engine, but depending on the temperature outside, how much moisture is in the air, all of that contributes. But I'll tell you what, this is a fun truck to drive. It's interesting because you don't have the sound of the engine, but you still have enough noise coming into the cabin to where you really can't tell the difference that much. It's a very, very interesting experience, to say the very least. But overall, I'm impressed. It sure drives well. It has a good, comfortable ride for a truck, which is nothing new for these Ford models. But overall, I have to give high marks here. Fun test drive, but I mean, that's kind of to be expected when you're out trying to run a number doing a 0 to 60. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to go into normal mode, and then we're going to try one more time and see what happens. Ooh, that was better. Wow. Well, let's get back to the dealership and I'll take a look and see what the numbers were. All right, I'm going to put both on the screen. The Draggy says one was valid, one was not. The best was only a 471, so a little disappointing there for whatever reason. 442 on the one that was supposed to be invalid, but still pretty impressive. So, well, it is what it is. So tell me down in the comments what you think. Did Ford hit a home run with the 2022 F-150 Lightning? I tell you what, I'm very impressed with this Platinum Edition that we looked at today. It has everything advertised. It's fun to drive, just really cool. It'd be nice if I could have it overnight and give you some good nighttime shots. Maybe we'll do that sometime in the future. Gotta say a special thanks to all my friends here at Jimmy Grande Ford for loaning me this gorgeous Lightning for the day. That happens to be my favorite color on one of these trucks. And thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.